The Old Testament isn't just a list of old books. It's a sweeping, powerful story. A story of beginnings, promises, failures, and hope. It's the story of how God began working with people, and how, even when they messed up again and again, He never gave up on them. Let's walk through it from the very beginning. In the first book, Genesis, we see how everything began. God created the world, people, beauty, and life. But humans, Adam and Eve, disobeyed, and things broke. That brokenness spread through Cain and Abel, the flood of Noah's time, and the Tower of Babel. Still, God had a plan. He chose a man named Abraham. God promised Abraham that through his family, all nations would be blessed. That family became the Israelites, God's chosen people. In Exodus, the Israelites are slaves in Egypt, but God raises up Moses to lead them out. Through plagues, parted seas, and a journey through the wilderness, God proves He's faithful. On Mount Sinai, He gives them laws, the 10 Commandments, to live by. Then comes Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, books full of laws, instructions, and stories of the Israelites wandering the desert. They struggle, complain, and sometimes forget God, but He stays with them. Joshua leads the people into the Promised Land, conquering cities and dividing the land among tribes. But in Judges, things fall apart again. Israel goes in circles. They turn from God, suffer, cry out, and God sends leaders, called judges, to rescue them. Then they forget again. It's messy and painful. Then we meet Ruth, a quiet story of loyalty and love. A reminder that even in dark times, kindness matters. Ruth becomes the great-grandmother of King David. In 1 and 2 Samuel, we see the rise of kings. First, Saul, who starts well but falls hard. Then David, the shepherd, the giant slayer, the man after God's heart. David isn't perfect, but he loves God deeply. His son Solomon brings wisdom and builds the temple in 1 Kings, but also loses his way. From there, the kingdom splits, north and south, and most of Kings and Chronicles tell how both kingdoms drift away from God. Prophets warn them, but they rarely listen. Eventually, both kingdoms are conquered. The temple is destroyed. God's people are taken into exile in Babylon. But even in exile, we see hope. Ezra and Nehemiah tell how some return to rebuild Jerusalem. They restore the temple, the walls, and their faith. Esther tells of a Jewish queen who risks her life to save her people. A story of courage in silence. Scattered throughout are the books of the prophets, like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel. They warn, they weep, they hope. They speak of justice, repentance, and a future king, a Messiah who will one day restore everything. Books like Hosea, Joel, Amos, Micah, and others show God's deep heart, broken by His people's sin, but always ready to forgive. Job wrestles with pain and asks why the righteous suffer. Psalms is a songbook, full of prayers, pain, joy, and praise. Proverbs gives wisdom for everyday life. Ecclesiastes asks hard questions about meaning, and Song of Solomon celebrates love and longing. The Old Testament ends not with a final answer, but with a promise, a longing, a whisper that someone is coming, someone who will set things right. The Old Testament is ancient, but its heartbeat still echoes today. It's about people who doubted, trusted, failed, and tried again. Just like us, and at the center of it all is a God who keeps His promises and never stops writing the story.